Jerry Agar for Ezra Levant. I have never owned a pet snake. According to my wife, I never will. With the tragic deaths of two young boys in New Brunswick who were apparently killed by a huge snake, many more people may now decide against owning one. Well, that's their decision to make. I wouldn't stop them, and neither will my wife. She's busy enough with my issues. Others, however, will rush to ban snakes and other exotic pets in the places where those bans don't already exist. Now, those saying that only zoos should house exotic animals may not have been paying attention to the recent devastating floods in Calgary. The water got so high that the hippos almost escaped. And hippos kill a lot of people every year, perhaps nearly 3,000 people annually. Had the animals made it to freedom, it could have been terrible. Should we shut all zoos down because of a freak occurrence, or should we reserve judgment, not make a hasty decision? As I pointed out yesterday, politicians love to ban things and pass regulations they claim are for our own good. Toronto City Councillor Glenda Beermaker has proposed banning walruses, whales, dolphins, porpoises, and hedgehogs in the city, due, I suppose, to the large number of walrus incidents in the community. People such as the councillor rarely stop to look at whether there's a real need for what they propose to do. They're not concerned with whether a real beneficial result will be achieved, only that they look good to uninformed voters in the moment. Let's not be uninformed, okay? Let's look at a few facts, shall we? By the way, chances are those who will call for a ban on big snakes didn't like snakes before this. And people will try to justify such a ban by claiming that no one needs a snake. Well, that's true. You don't need a snake. You also don't need a dog. Unless you're herding sheep for a living, working for the police, or visually impaired, a dog's a want. It's not a need. Are we really going to ban anything that isn't a necessity? That's the road we head down if we knee-jerk into banning reptiles. Let's face it, you don't need a cat either. Dogs injure and kill way more people than pet snakes do in a given year. According to Rob Laidlaw, Executive Director of Zoo Check Canada, a national wild animal protection charity who spoke to me yesterday on my radio show, since 1978 in all of North America, including the two boys killed in New Brunswick, there have been 19 people killed by snakes. That's 19 over 35 years, one every 2 years. As usual, statistics are more readily available from the USA than here in Canada, so that's what I have for you today by way of comparison to snake deaths. And it seems that we cannot come closer than a wild guess as to how many snakes are living in homes as pets in North America, so I won't guess. I know there are a bunch of them in a basement across the street from my house. They haven't hurt anybody. According to the Centers for Disease Control, 16 Americans die every year from dog bites, and that's out of 800,000 who seek medical attention for dog bites. We do have bans on some specific breeds in some places, but to ban dogs altogether would be unthinkable. Now, it's true that there are more dogs than snakes, but the ratio of injuries and deaths is not the issue. The fact, and it is a fact, that we do not have a snake attack crisis that needs immediate management is what I'm concerned with here. I realize that some people will claim that dogs, as companion animals, are a necessity for the health and well-being of some folks. But, and I'm not kidding, some people say the same about their snakes, their ferrets, and other assorted pets. The CDC also informs us there's an annual average of 3,533 fatal, unintentional drownings, not related to boats, about 10 deaths per day. An additional 347 people died each year from drowning in boating-related incidents. Each year, over 600,000 people are treated in emergency departments for bicycle-related injuries, and 824 die from this type of injury. One estimate I found claimed that over 100 people die in the USA each year as a result of accidents related to horseback riding. Approximately 4 deaths annually in the United States are associated with roller coasters. No one needs a backyard pool or a dip in the lake. We want to enjoy those activities, and we have every right to do so. We're not about to ban them. Few people actually need a horse, and most bicycle riders could actually take the bus. As irresponsible as so many of them are in traffic and up on the sidewalk endangering pedestrians, I wish they would take the bus. But I'm not the guy to outlaw bicycles. I have not included crime-related statistics or motor vehicle accidents as I'm making a point about pets and recreational activities. The point being that banning snakes and monkeys and such animals might save a life or two every year. But if saving even one life is the standard, we'd be better off banning bicycles, horses, swimming pools, and certainly dogs. If saving lives were really the goal, the first thing we should do is ban the practice of getting in the water. It probably makes sense to talk about maybe some form of licensing, if no other reason than to protect the animals from being kept by people with no clue how to care for them. We could make that an animal rights issue, and then I bet it would pass. By the way, with less than one pet snake-related death per year, you would have a much greater chance of being killed by lightning. Do you know how many people actually do die from lightning? Go ahead, quickly guess, because now I'm going to tell you. 79 people are killed every year in the USA by being hit by lightning. Maybe we should ban that. I mean, nobody actually needs lightning. One city that seems to take banning stuff to heart is Vancouver. Toronto councillors live to regulate our lives, it seems. The Sun's Anthony Furey might want to ban bans.
That's a good idea. That's the best ban idea I've heard yet.
It's the only ban. Now, obviously, we want people to be safe. We don't want to do stupid things in life. But I was just commenting in the opening monologue there that we have a tremendous number of things we accept as just a part of life. Dog ownership, swimming pools, going to the lake, that sort of thing, as that cause far more death than snakes. But we do have people now freaking out about not just snakes, but exotic pets in general. But I don't think we have a crisis on our hands.
Jerry, throughout my travels in the commentary world, I've learned two things about two major misconceptions people have about government. One is that they think the point of government is to force everyone else to be more like them. That's not it. It's to maximize our liberties. Two, people think that we should actually be banning and making illegal things that have the potential for harm. But that's not what we do at all. We regulate against the bad things should they happen. So we ban the nuclear weapons and stuff, but a snake that could bite you, or a bottle of beer that could, if you consume it too fast or consume too many, could make you go out on the road and kill a person. No. We don't ban these potentials outright. What we do is we just place a couple boundaries in the laws, and we say if you transgress those boundaries, then the law's going to smack down on you. And the case of these pythons, these two boys, we've seen that the fellow already had it escape once, so he knew that there were problems, and there's already law out there that says you can't have longer than 6 feet or 6 meters. I can't remember. A snake that's larger than either
6 feet.
6 feet larger than
6
either.
meters is awful big.
True. 6 feet larger than either of those, and it seems like this snake, if grown to adulthood, could be that long. So it seems like the regulation was already in place. So we already broke the regulation. There's nothing more that needs to be in place.
Well, that's right. I think what we do is we let people as much as possible live the lives they want to live. And then, hey, along with personal freedom comes personal responsibility. And somebody was incredibly irresponsible in this scenario. Make that person or persons, whoever it might be, it obviously seems like it's the owner of the snake at this point, make that person responsible. Make them responsible in a hardcore way if that's what it takes. But don't then suddenly say to every person across this country, you can't have the following list of pets.
Well, Jerry, nanny state laws give us a false sense of security and make us more prone to hurting ourselves. We really need to bring back common sense. There are radical cyclist advocates out there, people who you'd probably consider sort of on the far left wing, who are vehemently opposed to bicycle helmet laws because they say telling everybody you got to wear a helmet to be safe means people aren't going to cycle responsibly anymore. Then you think, well, I got the helmet, so I can weave in and out of traffic, drive safe. And looking at this python case, I mean, we don't know all the facts, but it seems like there's a lot of common sense issues going along, and a lot of parenting, adulthood issues that seem to have gone awry, like why you even let these boys. And these photos came out, Jerry, that have now shown the boys inside tanks that snakes are in, sort of cleaning them or playing around in them. The snakes aren't in them with them, they're empty tanks being cleaned, but it shows these boys were really familiar with these snakes, and look, they don't have the training that exotic animal handlers have, so again, there's a whole bunch of common sense things that I'm ringing the alarm bell on, not legal things.
Yeah, let's all slow down and don't panic into doing something stupid. Thanks so much for coming by.
Thank you.